back to my channel. So this video is going to be a little bit different. It's another art video, only I won't be doing dots per se. And this video will be one of potentially two, maybe even three. Sort of do a different take on some of the pieces I've been doing recently. It is an art pour or a paint pour, and then once it's dry, I will figure out my next move, whether I do a dot mandala on top or I draw something else. So going through this video, you'll see me, I'll speed up bits of it because no one really likes watching people stir paint. So, but what you'll see is simply me adding just water. There is nothing added to my paint until after everything's mixed. So I do water and some paint and I mix it up to not a completely watered down consistency, but kind of like runny cake batter. So it's still some thickness and it, flows fluid, but it's not really thick and it's not really runny. I find that if I do that, then I can get a potential mixture of cells without adding too many additives to the paint or water itself. The only additive I add, oddly enough, is WD-40, at least at this point. So I'll mix all my paints together, and then just before I'll do the pour, I will do anywhere from 3 to 6 drops, depending on my mood and how much paint I'm using, into each color. And all I do is I take some WD-40 and I spray it into a little container like this so that I can just use an eyedropper and I drop it into my paint. So there is a small part in the video where I kind of hold the eyedropper so you can kind of see where that is or what that is. And then I go from there. So I don't use plastic cups. I try and use as many materials as I can that I can reuse, just to keep my budget from going too crazy. So as a mom, I went through, the baby food phase. So I use baby food jars as I kept them. They are incredibly handy. And then for my paints themselves, I try and keep them in little containers like this, which you can get at the dollar store. So that's kind of what this is. So we will quickly jump into the video itself. And there are some stills at the end so you can see what I've done. As of right now, the pieces aren't totally dry, so I can't hold them up to show you. Okay, so as you can see, I did decided to do more than one piece with the color combination that I did. I try and waste as little paint as I can possibly get away with, which was always a concern as I watched other paint pours being done and how much paint was wasted all the time. So I have found different ways of reusing that paint without it getting too mucky. Um, so I'll try and do more than one at a time. So I kind of do them in sets. So this one is a smaller 9 by 10, or sorry, 8 by 10, along with two little 6 by 6s, which will eventually be sold as a set. And I'll end up doing something that goes together with the three of them. And then after, as you saw, I didn't show you as I moved the paint around, but I took a picture of the pan that I was using to capture the paint. Now, what I've done is I've, just like a paint pour or canvas, I've leveled out the paint so it'll completely dry. It will take some time for that to happen, but once it's completely dry, I found that the paint lifts, literally it peels right off the base of my pan. So with it doing that, I can save it. I can cut it up and use it in other different paint ideas. In fact, I've got quite a few ideas that I want to use it for. So by doing that, I waste very little paint and still achieve the looks that I'm after. With my paint pours, I'm not always necessarily looking for cells, although some of them are really cool and how they turn out. I'm almost looking for how the color mixes and the different combinations. I'm after something, so by mixing these and experimenting, I'll hopefully achieve what I'm after, and then later on I'll experiment with other additives to create bigger, better cells, which some of them are really cool. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below and I'll get back to you on those. If you haven't subscribed, please be sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon for when they come up. And if you've come back to watch a video, thank you again for watching.